For them, one of the aspirants is here with us, so hopefully you'll be able to address some of these concerns that they have raised. Once again, if you're just joining us, our guest is Nana Osei Bamfo. He is aspiring to lead the MPP in the Manhyia North Constituency. Say good morning and welcome to the Orange Sunrise.
Good morning, Nav.
I believe you're fine.
I'm doing awesome.
Are you excited with what you see so far, engaging delegates, speaking to people, trying to get the votes? Are you encouraged?
First of all, let me take this opportunity to greet your cherished listeners, the good people of Manhyia North, the delegates who would be voting and getting someone to lead Manhyia North into 2024's election, a representative for Manhyia North. And while I do that, I think as you introduced me prior to starting the program, I'm the Deputy Managing Director for Metro Mass. And I cannot come here without giving a shout out to them, to thank them and appreciate them for all the prayers and all the support they've given me so far. And so I think I'll go ahead with your question.
Let me just remind our listeners that we are streaming live on YouTube, Orange 107.9. You can watch us live. If you want to know the potential member of parliament for Manhyia North Constituency is with us in the studio, you can of course join us on YouTube, Orange 107.9. And of course, watch the interview live. If you have questions, you can post the questions on the YouTube feed. And of course, we'll do well to read all of them for you. Yes, you were about to respond to whether or not you are encouraged by what you've seen in your attempt to interact with delegates.
It's been awesome. It's been very encouraging, engaging delegates one-on-one, speaking to them, calling them. Because, I mean, just the report you just played, it clearly shows that Manhyia North would be better off with a new face, somebody who can actually champion the cause of Manhyia North. Manhyia North shouldn't be part of the deprived constituencies in Ashanti region. I mean, in Ghana, I mean, when you mention Manhyia, what comes to mind? This is the seat of the kin. And if you are to go through Manhyia North, and these are the complaints you receive, then it clearly shows that Manhyia North needs someone who would come in and make them a priority, make the development of Manhyia North a priority, and be able to champion the things that they need for the constituency. I mean, the simple things like bridges, I mean, I wouldn't call it, I mean, I've gone there, I've seen these bridges. I've seen developments that have been left because one person started and the other is not willing to continue simply because, you know, whatever reason, I'm not even sure. Because when development happens, it benefits the constituency, it benefits the citizens of the country. It's not about an individual. You don't take developments into your homes. You take the developments into the homes of people whom you've represented. And so it's very unfortunate that one would think because this person started, I'm not going to continue. I mean, that would not go well with.
When you listen to the people, are you not disappointed that when they were asked on the top of head to mention their preferred candidate, it appears none mentioned you? You should be worried.
I'm not so worried because I'm sure this research, and I know exactly where they went to, and I don't think they engaged the delegates. They engaged people,
constituents,
they engaged constituents. So I'm not discouraged a bit because the potential voters know. They can, just like the lady said, I don't know either of them. How she's going to vote. I mean, she's not a delegate. She's going to you know, obviously a delegate would not, because any delegate who is really a delegate has come to listen to what each person has to offer. So it wouldn't be on the voting lines as this. So I'm not discouraged. The people, it was just, I know it's a sampling of, the constituency, and they engaged a particular electoral area or a particular area. So to get that, it's not a true reflection of what the constituency is looking for.
For the people in Manhyia North, who perhaps, just like we've just discussed, want to know you well, want to exactly be sure who they are dealing with, who is likely to lead them, if of course the delegates give him the opportunity and the larger constituents also endorse him. Who are you?
I'm Nana Osei Bamfo. I was born and raised in Krofrom, which is within the constituency. I went to King's International, which falls within the constituency.
That should be in Bokrum, or?
No. Before you get to airport roundabout. It's right on your left-hand side, yes. And so it falls within the constituency. I grew up, I went to Pokuari, I left Pokuari, left for London, started college in London a bit, ended up moving to the US. So I have my undergrad as, I'm an accountant. I did undergrad in accounting. I did my master's in Columbia. It was an Ivy League school. I did international energy policy, economic policy, specialization in renewable energy, electricity markets. And I ended up working for the United Nations Development Program, focus on conflict resolution. Going abroad, which I went when I was pretty young, because right after Opokuari I left. I've always said I did not want to live outside the country for more than 20 years. So when that time came up, I decided to pack up my stuff, come back home, and whatever it is that I've learned from, outside, why not bring it home? Because if I'm able to join the military in the US, served in the army for so long, ready to lay my life for a country that's not even my birth country, why not come home and bring that to help the community, the constituency that I lived in? And so I came back. I contested in 2016. Unfortunately, for how God wants things to be, I wasn't the preferred candidate then. Fast forward, when MPP came into power, the president, His Excellency Nana Osei appointed me as the Deputy Managing Director for Metromas. So 2020, I did not contest because I had just taken up a position, and it's only right that I decide to help with the mandate that was given me, because if I take up a position and a year later I decide I want to leave the company and go contest, I think in a way I'm being selfish, because that opportunity could have been given to someone, and so I decided not to contest in 2020. If you would listen to, or if you remember, in 2016, I was the main contender within the elections. Unfortunately, things happened, and
you couldn't contest eventually.
I did contest in 2016.
You did? Okay.
Yes, it was the three of us. So the trio that contested in 2016. So now, when you look at the records, Collins Ozwomanka has been an MP for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The incumbent
for 2 terms.
For 2 terms. The incumbent has been is the current MP, and so obviously these are the 2 names that have been on the ballot box. So when you go into certain constituencies, that would be the name. But the delegates that I spoke to, the people who actually know me, knows the kind of person and what I bring on the table.
Now, regarding your profile, though, even though you've clearly stated that you grew up in Manhyia North, what would you say to people in Kumau who say, well, this is our brother? In fact, in Kumau,
No, Kumau. Manhyia North. You are talking Kumau?
Yes, I'm talking about Kumau, because you have...
That's where I'm from.
Yes, that's why I'm bringing Kumau in.
Okay.
Who will say, this is our brother. In fact, your uncle is a chief in that area, right?
Yes.
So you are well with... Yes. What would you say to people that will say, you should have come home? come contest there, but you're going to Manhyia North. And what would you say to people in Manhyia North who say, but you come from Kumawu, you are coming to chop there?
I don't think any of the candidates contesting in Manhyia North are from Manhyia North. It does not necessarily mean if you are not, wherever you are from is where you should contest. I mean, Collins Oswamankwa is not from Manhyia North.
I don't think it would have been easier if you were to have contested.
It could be, or it could not. You know, it's not, at this point, like I said, I chose Manhyia North because, I mean, I'm from Kumawu, but have I lived there? No. Do people know me? They know my parents. They know, you know, my family. I have a big family there, and, you know, from the Adriana family, from the royal family. So, would it be easier? Maybe. Is it wrong that I'm going to Manhyia North? No, because this is where I've lived. This is where I grew up. And I think people know me in Manhyia North more than they would know me in Kumawu. You know, so I think the right choice is for where I'm associated, where I grew up. And growing up there, I know the problems, I know the challenges that we have in the constituency. So I think it's not out of place that I choose to want to contest in Manhyia North.
The fact of the matter is that if you are to win, to become the...
Which I'm going to win.
Okay. To become the parliamentary candidate for MPP in Manhyia North, the possibility is that you will eventually become the member of parliament, looking at the history, etc. So it's important we ask you this question. I mean, listening to your profile, of course, you did say that you served, or I know that you served in the military in the United States of America for quite a while. In fact, you traveled to some of the riskiest countries, Kuwait, Iraq, Kuwait, all of those things. Fortunately for us, you didn't die.
I'm here.
God has.
That means God has a purpose for me.
Yes.
God has a purpose for Manhyia North. So
absolutely. Now, the second thing is that you've been given an appointment, a very lucrative one, Metro Mass, Deputy Director in charge of Operation Technical. Why do you still want to become a member of Parliament? What is in there that you want to necessarily serve as a member of Parliament?
Like I told you, I had contested in Manhyia North in 2016, prior to being appointed in 2019 as the Deputy Managing Director. So what I really wanted to be, I mean, I've gone into Metro Mass, and you can check, your records would prove that I've been there and I've done nothing but work hard, like extra hard for the company. I think it's about time for me as what I really desire. And this is something that prior to coming into Metro Mass has always been my desire. I had wanted to contest 2020, you know, even though I had been there for a year. But with communications, my board talking to me because of the things I was doing there and stuff, they wanted me to stay to help, you know, complete the things that we've started. I think it's time for me now that, you know, what I really want to do. Because, you see, it's not with what I've told you with my little profile and the life that, you know, at this tender age I've lived. I think God has blessed me. You know, I am grateful to Him for all the things He's done for me. With people my age may have not. I mean, how many people can go to Iraq and come back? How many people would even think about going to Iraq? I've done all this within this this time in my life. So I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to all the things that, you know, He's done for me. And the direction that He's taking me, I think I want to. If you go to Krofrom, there's a junction that's called Bamfo Nkwanta. That was named after my dad. And I think if my dad was able to do something for his name to stay, his legacy to stay. I mean, after, may his soul rest in peace, and tomorrow will be 22 years since my dad passed away. His name is still there. So if, as a son, it's only right that I uplift the name higher than what it is now. And how can I do that? It's not about me coming in to make money, because like you said, I think with the position that I'm in, it's a bit more lucrative than you know, becoming an MP, because I think as an MP with my current incentives, and it's better than being an MP. So I'm not coming in for the money.
So why do you want
coming
to?
in because I want to leave a legacy for the people
But
of
politics could be brutal.
Michiano. I know, I'm a soldier. Come
Politics could be.
on. I'm a soldier. What can I? If I've been to Iraq and Kuwait,
So you're
these
ready?
candidates been there. That should tell you how strong and how
It could be
I am.
demanding or financially.
Of course it is. Nothing comes easy. I don't think the other candidates are well off than me. They did not become MP because they are better than me. We know all that. But politics is such that, if living in the U.S., the senator for Connecticut, is my very good friend, Senator Blumenthal, I'll show you a picture of him and I used to work for him. I used to donate to his campaign. I had a standing order from my account going to him every free time that I get. I go and I worked for him during his campaign. So it's not about, coming in to make the money. It's about, coming in to get the name, to do the things with the connection that I have, with the network that I have, to be able to bring people who can, because if Senator Blumenthal hears that I'm the equivalent of a senator in the U.S. as a parliamentarian, right? If he hears that this is who I am now with my veteran status, with the things that I used to do for him, and I'm even asking him to come to my constituency. U.S. is a big budget. They have ways of helping people like us. The third world countries, developing, I wouldn't say third world, it's not the developing countries like Ghana. And Ghana has a good name. So bringing somebody like that, coming into my constituency to see the things that is needed, I don't think he would go back and not want to help me. Because this is the reason why I came. I didn't come to Ghana. No one, like I said, I wasn't forced to come to Ghana. I wasn't forced to leave the U.S. and come to Ghana. I had a very good job. I have a well-paid job that it would take an MP, maybe my monthly pay would be divided by 10 before you make one, or 12. But I decided to leave and come. Why? Because I have something good in me. That's
What
not
good
about
do you
money.
have in you?
I have, like I said, I have a network to bring things, the development that Manhyia North is craving for.
Like what? What is
You played it. You've seen the things that Manhyia North is craving for. The road networks, the schools. If you go there now, education should be something that's very important to every parliamentarian. If you go into the schools in Manhyia North now, not even lights for students to want to go back during at night to want to study. They are sending people. When I sit home, growing up, you sit home to want to study. What do? You get so comfortable, you fall asleep. So people would want to go into the classroom. There can be settings. You can organize certain teachers within the constituency to even do night or classes for remedial classes, classes when students are on break. And these are things that are not happening within the constituency. I was in Mochizongo 2 days ago, and the big challenge there, even within the school, trying to come through the school at night. There's no light. So it's become a trap for people to stand and be taking people's phones and issues, which was brought to me. And so I think if you were to even go to that area and went down where I'm talking about, they would tell you. So there are a lot of things that I've taken upon myself. I've gone in. The youth are craving for astroturfs. If you look at the magnitude of astroturfs that's been constructed by this government, not even one in Manhyia North. Not even one.
Now let's talk about the delegates, because you will have to convince them first before you get the opportunity to develop Manhyia North. Is it true that in 2016, one of the key things that was used against you was that you were not an indigenous of Manhyia North?
It was never said that.
It never came up.
My father's name is on the street. Who is going to say I'm not an indigenous? That was not part of it. It wasn't. If you listen to, if you were to go down to find out why, it's because the last day people were cursed. There was a deity put on people
By who?
to vote for. I don't want to politicize that. I think since your research team is on grounds, you can do that research yourself. And so that was the reason why, because about 70 of the delegates did not vote. And after we voted, after the election was over, about 8, even more delegates ended up passing away. I'm not saying it's whatever deity that was put on them is why they died. But for me, I'm not going to use that to win an election.
Let's talk about the delegates. What are you selling to them?
The biggest thing now in Manhyia North, if you go there, within the delegates, I can tell you on authority that the current executives, I wouldn't say all of them, are actually threatening people that if you go and listen to this person, because of the good things they have to tell delegates, because they know they have not done anything, because they know they don't have any message, we will take you out of the album.
Who is threatening who?
I'll play an audio for you to listen to.
They are threatening the delegates
that they should they should not go and meet the candidates.
They shouldn't meet you.
They should not meet candidates. Period.
Or candidates.
If it's not their candidate, and it is skewed to the direction of the current MP. And so, even the album that we are supposed to be getting, officially has not been given to us. I have an album unofficially.
Have you complained to the regional party?
I have, and the current chairman is saying by today it would be ready. But elections next Saturday. So if I had not gone above and beyond to get my own album, to be able to engage delegates, then is this elections? And the same executives, and I will quote, the secretary would call
the constituency secretary.
Yes, he will call coordinators and tell them, when he asks you to call delegates, don't do it.
So you're finding it difficult to even meet delegates?
I'm finding it, a lot of them are discerning. They know the rules and regulations. They know the constitution of the party. That once someone picks up a form and it goes through vetting and he's cleared, he has every right to meet the delegate. And so they don't understand why a secretary will call them and tell them not to call.
So have you been able to meet them?
I have. My strategy is not about meeting them in groups. My strategy is going to them one-on-one, going to their homes, calling them and talking to them. And I think it's...
And they have been availing themselves?
Of course, we have the album.
So when you engage them, I'm a delegate, you need my vote. What do you use to convince them to say, you should vote for me? I'll better serve your interest than any other person.
They know what I have. If nothing at all, if nothing at all, delegates in Manhyia North want unity. They want peace. They want development. How can someone who, is living their life, has his family, controls his family, is in charge of family, doing things for his family, be controlled by a certain element telling them that because you're a delegate, if you do this, we will take you out of the album. If you do this, are we in communist society?
Is Akwesi Kunodi the one behind those things?
I quoted the name. I said the secretary and whoever he's aligned to, because he himself
is he aligned to the MP?
With the secretary. I've been calling people into the constituency office, threatening them as to why they are even coming to our meetings. Case in point, this Christmas, I decided, I want to meet delegates, small gifts here and there for them. Guess what? People who attended my meetings had been sanctioned by them. They've been threatening that...
Sanctioned?
Yes, they've been threatened that if they come to my meetings again, they will be taken out of the album. They've made it as if the album is their personal property, which is in their house, and then whoever decide you won't support me will take you out and bring somebody in. The audio I'm going to play you, I think you should play that audio.
Okay, if you let us have access to it.
Yeah, I'm going to forward it to you right now.
Yes, you can.
But it's very unfortunate that, this is the trend, this is the pattern that's going on within the constituency. And people are tired. People want to be liberated from this thing. Because prior to this election, you can go into Manhyia North and speak to your brother or sister free. I'm telling you, I think that research should be done too.
We've also been told that there are some bigger hands dictating things within Manhyia North, to the extent that some people have what we call political godfathers who, from the outside, are machinate, or they are engaged in all kinds of machinations to ensure that their candidate prevails. Is that something you've experienced too?
I would not sit here and say I've experienced that. I think this current administration, with the elections that is going on now in 2024 that we are embarking on, is going to be one of the hardest elections that will ever.
You mean the primaries or the elections?
Not the primaries. The primaries is next week. That's given.
The 2024
breaking the 8. We don't want breaking the 8 to be just a slogan. We want it to be a reality. And if there are hands which would be controlling people within constituencies, then that means we don't want to break the 8. So personally, I've not experienced that, and I don't think any hands is in trying to sabotage anyone or trying to, prevent people from doing it. It's not any hands from external. This is internally. People trying to just control people just because they feel people are so gullible that they can just do whatever they want.
But if that is the case, it appears from what you've said, clearly there's a deliberate attempt to frustrate your efforts to becoming the parliamentary candidate. Clearly, it appears that a lot of people are doing a lot of things against you to ensure that things will be very much tough for you. Don't you think from the onset it appears that this contest is really going to be very difficult for you, because even meeting delegates is a problem. Getting access to album is a problem. People are being sanctioned because they are meeting you.
They are being sanctioned by the current executives, and that's the reason why they are going to lose. Because people are tired of these kinds of things. People are tired of people being told or people being asked to do what they feel they shouldn't be doing. How can you tell a delegate that if you go and meet this person, if you go and take something from this person, if you meet them, because it's Christmas and we're all supposed to meet delegates, and then if you meet that person, you'll be taken out of the album? I mean, so people are tired. People are tired of being controlled. People are tired of being treated as if they are some, puppets or some little kids. And I think people are is going to reflect in this. That's what gives me the confidence. Because when I talk to people, they know the kind of person I am. I may have been a soldier, I may have been to war, but the kind of person that I am disciplined, I'm gentle, I relate to people very well. And this is even before I travel. People who have known me from infancy know this is how I am. And so I'm coming in to unify the constituency. I'm coming to unite the constituency because, like I said, going into 2024's election, we need unity. One person cannot even be left in the house. If either of these candidates win the election, it's going to be tough to bring any person on board, because there's a sharp division within Manhyia North. I mean, like I said, I don't want to just be talking and may seem as if I'm doing things to favor me. I'm doing this to ensure that the right thing is done, and I'm not, people want to be united. People want to speak to their brothers and sisters when they meet them. Case in point, there are a lot of people calling me. We would want to vote for you. We would want to meet you. But if I meet you and someone sees, they are going to take me out of the album. So please, can we meet at the mall? Can we meet?
Really?
I'm telling you.
So they can't even
all the way from Manhyia North, from Diase, from Mosizongo, from. I can even show you a text now. Someone wanting to meet me, but guess what? I can't meet within the constituency. Can we meet here? I mean, why should it be so?
Let's listen to this. We'll come back and continue.
Example, Joe. Bamunchin. Na yeka. Ayana ebinim nim se yekasa na wa. Na agro yɛkasa na wa anaa o yɛboa chief ɔyɛ daadaafoɔ chief yɛ daadaafoɔ Bamfo ɛyɛ daadaafoɔ chief ɛde flat screen ɛdaadaa nkurɔfoɔ nyɛ nɛ nso yɛntumi ntɔ flat screen ma obiara mɛma mu flat screen mmerɛ bi na girl bi woman bi na ɔte yɛn nkyɛn mu a yɛase ha saa ne yɛfrɛ no Mary Akoto yɛne na nnɛ kɔba yɛne na team akwasi yɛne na nnɛ kɔba ɔbɛda yɛ ha ne yɛne ne yɛ fine paa ɔno ɔyɛ woman organizer ɛwɔ Hope in Christ na otie chief na adaa no coordinator timi daadaa no last minute coordinator daadaa no odwane call secret no nim so ɔyɛ ne secret yɛnhuni ba yɛka so yɛni wɔ baabi a yɛ ne agrɔfoɔ gas yɛboa okɔ obi fie koraa obi wɔ hɔ ɔba bɛka akyerɛ yɛn na Mary Akoto ɛkɔɔyɛ ti hu no ana fast yɛyi ne firi mu ɛne yɛde nana ama doma mene ne hyɛ wɔ no yɛde ne hyɛ mu another guy stick dirty stick restaurant na ɛwɔ anim wɔ no ɔno nso yɛfrɛ no Kwesi ɔno na yɛ secretary yɛne no a kɔba ebi hu aso akɔdi chief akyi ɔka sɛ yɛhu no wa na yɛyi no ne yɛde James Manu ɛbɛhyɛ nanan nti yɛka sɛ deɛ kɔ biara yɛne tua deɛ kɔ biara yɛne tua ka ya na ebi ka sɛ ɛboa nti na sɛ sɛ afiwei ne deɛ obi a wayɛ sɛ Judas no yɛbɛhu sɛnea yɛsesa bi de bi hyɛ mu no saa yɛhu pɛ yɛbɛsesa ho yɛntena ma ɔmɛdi yɛhwambɔ yɛntena hɔ wone yɛbɛsere asɛ wone yɛsere wone yɛ na ɛkɔba na sɛ wone yɛsere kɔ a yɛbɛhu paa ntumi na ada yɛn.
So this is allegedly the voice of the constituency secretary of Manhyia, treasurer of Manhyia North. So he spoke in Twi. Let me try and summarize what he said. He said that there were certain individuals that were quite close to their block or their camp, but then they realized that they were shifting to other camps. So what they did was that if they realized that you are supporting a different candidate, then they will not hesitate at all to expunge your name from the album. And so he's cautioning everybody to be alert, because they are watching. They are very much vigilant. If they see that your behavior suggests to them that they cannot really rely on you or trust you, then of course you should expect your name to be expunged from the album. Allegedly the voice of the constituency treasurer. We'll try and then make contact with him so that we can get some reactions from him, but that's what's happened. Yes. I
can give you his number if you...
Yes, we will do so. Manhyia North is an interesting place for us. Just like we did last time, we'll definitely be doing the same this year. So this was what you were referring to.
I mean, there's a lot more. I think if I was to give you the audios that has been playing out, I mean, the threats, the things that, you know, the kind of threats that's been given to people.
Threats, I mean, as in threats?
I mean, you if you go and meet this person and people being called to the constituency office as to why they would meet a certain candidate and not, you know, and this is not how Manhyia North has been.
Don't you think, Nana, the system is from the onset against you? Like, everything is set to...
This is not how Manhyia North has been. I mean, from my own godfather, Dr. Adokufo, all the way to
when
now.
it used to be
Manhyia
together.
and when they were split. You know, coming in the last time, you would go, the delegates will gather, a candidate will come speak to them. There will be a candidate waiting outside. As soon as he leaves, the person comes in to also. I mean, that's how the peace and harmony, that's what we've enjoyed. And for this to be happening, I mean, clearly, it shows that people are, you know, if you did things right, if you felt you've done something that nobody has done before, why are you scared of people meeting?
But what do you say to those who
candidates?
say, if you want to contest in these kinds of elections, you must have involved yourself in the delegate, not like in the election to get the polling station executives there, because then it will mean that your people will be the ones in the album, so that the relationship, you can just trigger it. And then, don't you think you should have done that, or did you do
I
that?
think I did that.
So you have your...
The current MP won because of the people who supported me. Because I did not contest in 2020, majority of the people that I had through me become delegates ended up moving towards him. So it's only right, and it's not out of place, for people who had supported me in 2016 to want to come back to support me.
Have they told you they are coming
They
back?
don't need to tell me. They've come back, and they are going to support me.
How many delegates can you bet on to say?
I think I would want that to be an element of a surprise.
Do you think you will win?
I am going to win. It's not about the noise you hear from outside. It's not about speaking to people that, you know, I mean, randomly you can talk to. I don't think you had the opportunity to talk to 50 or 100 people. You know, the few that you would talk to, obviously, you know, like I said, they've both been MPs now. And so that would be the name that will resonate with people. But the people who really know me, if you go outside of Moshizongo, and I know Moshizongo, even the delegates there now, they will tell you. Because everyone is tired of the happenings in Manhyia North.
Now let's talk about some development issues. Because in the report you heard, people of Moshizongo complain about a bridge that connects Moshizongo and Tsepe. People have reached the issue of, on a number of occasions, people at Bokrum Estate, if I'm not mistaken, have raised the issue of security in that area. The issues of roads have come up. And there's also the issue of Krofro Market. It's been abandoned since when? 2000. Okay, that's in the south. Okay. So with these issues that they have raised, do you have antidotes to them?
If you prioritize, and like I said, with the kind of network and the zeal to push for development for the constituency is there, I don't think these are basic stuff. You know, if there is a connecting bridge from one place to another, you know, it's not something that anyone is saying the MP or is supposed to come up with money from their pockets to do it, you know. But there are ways and channels through which you champion development for your constituency.
So what ways and channels would you use to
if
champion
you are persistent, because if
persistent at what?
the authorities, whoever is in charge, I mean, I am such that I will pursue you, and I'll make sure. I mean, if reports needs to be done, whatever we need to, because these are basic stuff.
But should those responsibilities be of that of the MP? Don't you think it should be handled by the district?
If they are not doing it, they may not even have the clout to go to the person in charge, the minister. I mean, the minister, for the most part, majority of them are MPs. The minister for roads is an MP, so that may be your colleague MP. So if you have the right relationship with them, the right network to persist, to push and get the things you need for your constituency, because I don't think they will be so wicked to not want to put something like this in their budget to get it done. I mean, it can be done, but it's all about how you are persistent, you're able to push for development for your people.
Okay. You can now send me your WhatsApp messages 0548-501584, 0548-501584. We've been speaking with Nana Osei Bamfo. He is one of the aspirants seeking to represent the MPP in the parliamentary election of 2024. And he's been speaking about the issues that he is going through within the constituency. When it comes to his campaign, of course, the seeming frustration. Of course, he's been also laying his vision bare to us, what he intends to do for the constituency if he eventually becomes the member of parliament for the area. Later, we'll be activating the phone line so that you can also join us. And if you are listening to us, especially whether it's in Bokrum, whether it's in Moshizungu, in the Manhyia North Constituency, we'll be opening the phone line for you to join us and, of course, participate in the conversation. But just like I've said, the ultimate goal is to become the member of parliament. So I'm sure maybe, possibly, some delegates will consider your competence when it comes to leadership. Would you say it's fair if delegates say, okay, the current yardstick we can use to measure him is to look at the state of the company he's working with now, which in this case would be Metromas? There are those who say, look at the current state of Metromas. We used to have 6 employees to 1 bus. As we speak, 15 employees to a bus. About 4,000 employees, a lot of them redundant. Sometimes complaining about their remuneration. We've seen some of the vehicles, rickety vehicles, broken down, not able. A lot of issues regarding Metromas. You are the head of deputy director in charge of technical and operation. Can't we look at Metromas and say, if Metromas is in this state, then the man is not competent to become a member of parliament?
I don't think. You've said the negative things about Metromas.
They are true.
And some of the facts. It's not true. We don't have 4,000 employees.
Okay. How many do you have?
That's not the fact. We are under 2,000.
Oh, okay.
It's about 1,700 employees.
Okay.
Yes, when this company was formed, which back in 2003, it had about 1,400 buses.
Mm-hmm.
And what has been the replacement plan? When the former MD left right around when NDC took power, the replacement plan was for them to go back to Belgium to get the buses that you would call the Kufor buses. But I think part of the reason why Metromas is in the state that we find ourselves is because it deviated from what was supposed to have happened. Using those buses, because our core mandate is to the intra-services. We are social intervention. Social policy by this government to go where nobody is willing to go to because of road networks where people would find it difficult to go to. Transport companies are not willing to go to. The intra-services, which, to charge the lowest, because whenever fuel prices go up, if it's not for Metromas, I'm sure by now we wouldn't be paying the fares that we pay. Because even though they will go all the way, case in point, from Accra to Kumasi, what is an average bus charging now? About 100 and more.
Mm-hmm.
We are charging 68 cedis for the same buses that other competitors are using. So we are not in to make profit, we are in to at least break even. So if you have more intra-services buses than the intercity, the rural urban, the rural areas, those buses that do the long distances, then the intra-service operations are a loss-making venture. Ghanaians are not so used to, if it's not rush hour or it's not raining where people are willing to stand on the bus, they would not, be willing to. So the seats within our intra-service buses, about 20 seats. So the rest has a capacity of an additional 60. So if you were in New York, it doesn't matter who you are, you be a CEO of whatever corporation. We are all on the bus. You get down, get on the train, and get to your office. No one is, willing to drive. But that's not the same case in Ghana. I think because the trotros can maneuver and go do illegal stuff, buses would have to stay within their lane. But there's no designated bus lane for us. So gradually, it's become a loss-making venture for the intra-service operations.
You're not even able to break even.
So, not even able to break even. And so the long-distance route will subsidize the operations of the short distance. We had a situation where for so long there hadn't been a bus replacement. But by God's grace, since we came to power, we've received about 100 Daewoo buses, the air-conditioned buses that our sister competitor STC is using. We have the same thing. We've received 55 of our former, I would call the Kufuor buses, 55. We have 25 at the ports now. Total, we should be receiving 100. And if you look at the condition right now, what the Vice President said, and I think people were not so sure it was going to come to pass, the electric buses. We've had one come to our premises, and if we get this as being, championed by the Vice President, I think it's a laudable thing, which is going to be piloted in Kumasi and in Accra, which, like I said, is completed. It came to no fuel. All you need to do is to charge it, just like you would charge your phone. I had the opportunity to drive an electric bus while I was in the U.S. And if you look at the savings, we can afford to charge even cheaper than we are charging once then the whole world is turning into electric vehicles. And so these are things that are being championed by the government and with our management. I don't think, and if you come under my leadership and you can do your verification, the policy is to make sure with the new buses that we've received, it came with about 25 new engines. We have gotten to a point where
the ones you're getting from Belgium, right?
From Belgium, yes. We've done a good body works on majority of the buses, converting majority of them into even cargo buses.
Okay.
To start proper parcel service, baggage services, where majority of our food stuff coming from the hinterlands ends up being expensive because of the transport they bring there. That's where we come in as Metro Mass to help with the prices of transporting stuff from the hinterland. So very soon you are going to see a lot of things that's being done. We are the first transport company now that's going digital. Eventually you can't even pay cash when you get on Metro Mass.
Let's now give the opportunity to some of our listeners within the constituency to maybe ask their questions or contribute to the conversation. If you are listening to me in Manhyia North, you can give me a call on 0541 022 318, 0541 022 318, and participate in the conversation. If you have a question for our guest, of course, we'll see if we can take some of your questions, and hopefully we'll be addressing you'll be answering the questions for you. We're also streaming live on YouTube, Orange 107.9. Let's speak to our first caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm Solomon from Moshizongo.
Solomon from Moshizongo. You've listened to Nana Bamfo. What's your take?
Yeah. I'm an NDC, but I sympathize with my brother over there. But I want to find out if you are taking steps to report the secretary and then the treasurer to national. Because as regional executive, you are supposed to ensure a free playing field for all contestants. So why should they be siding with one contestant?
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. He calls us from Moshizongo, and of course he's asking if our guest has reported the matter to the party at the national level. 0541 022 318. You can also call us and tell us if there's any question you want to ask, or you are convinced by the message or the statement, what you've heard so far from Nana Osei Bamfo. You can also share with us. Now, this message I've received, it says that listening to your guest this morning, he sounds a bit calm. It looks as if he's gentle amongst the three. If I were a delegate, I might consider voting for him. But the truth of the matter is that with the way the system has been hijacked, he should just forget about it. No. He said maybe if he were a delegate, he might have. But looking at the things you've complained about, he's just telling you, Charlie.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going by what they are doing. That's why I've gone an extra length in engaging delegates one-on-one, speaking to them in their homes, going to their homes, calling them personally. So.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, the machinations in the party since 2016 is too huge. Alpha, I have a lot of experience to share. I'm not lying. No. Nobody does party work more than me. Me. You can ask this man, I don't know where he is now. The organization and Kokudewu from Water from Uti. They already have not doing anything. But I was the one Dr. Aleka told in his office that we are Alan supporters in 2016 after working for the party to come to power. So Alan supporters are finished. You see, I was in UCC for 2 years and I have 2 certificates of honor from TESCOM.
Okay.
When Dr. Abani was contesting Obo we were at the forefront. Back home in Ho, nobody does party. You see, I was the only one who attend meeting every first Tuesday in a month.
Okay, so you agree with the fact that there's some...
it is not easy. Even his album sometimes, they will give him the wrong album with wrong names. That's how they do it.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. You can also call on 0541 022 318 0541 022 318. What's your take on the conversation we've had so far? But someone was asking you a question if you've reported the matter to National.
Yes, I have. I mean, like I said, with the things they're doing, you know, and in a way, I want it to be an element of surprise to them. And the delegates are aware of what's going on. Everyone in the constituency knows what's going on. You know, I would give kudos to the divisional commander for Tafo Pankrono, you know, because of the hearings and the things that, you know, people have been telling them. I mean, they picked intelligence on the ground and they know what's going on. Because if things, you know, if I'm not a person of peace, I think what would have happened now would not be nice, you know. But again, it's not about meeting people, you know, the crowd and, you know, people singing your praises, what's going to make you win. It's about engaging delegates one-on-one, talking to them, you know, telling them your vision, letting them know this is what you set yourself apart from the rest of them. And they understand that I'm coming in as someone who is going to unite both fronts, someone who is going to bring development within Manhyia North, someone who would be there for them whenever they... So I'm not going to be one-sided. I'm not going to be just...
Okay. I'll let you continue. Let's speak to this caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling me from?
I'm Lutman calling from Manhyia North.
Okay. Let's hear you. You've heard from Nana. What's your take? Yes, let's hear you.
Well, I just want to say something little about Nana Bamfo, as we popularly call him the unifier. Well, Nana Bamfo, as we sit now, are the choice of the delegates, and come 27th, we the delegates in Manhyia North are going to endorse him massively in order for us to break the 8. Because as we're speaking now, he is the only unifier who can bring about development to the constituency. And we are vouching for him to maintain and win on 27th January. So for me, I'm for Nana Bamfo, and I know all the delegates are also for Nana Bamfo. Thank you very much.
Okay. Fortunately for us, we just got a delegate. So it appears from, if barring any unforeseen circumstance, you have one vote. Rest assured for you. Okay. I think we can pick just 2 calls and then we'll be wrapping up. 0541022331, just because of time. If you're able to come through, why not? Of course, we'll pick your thoughts and then and speak to you on the issues that, of course, we've looked at so far this morning. This one says that I am listening from Bokrum. I'm not too sure he has dealt with the security concerns within the area. If he eventually becomes the MP, what is his plan to enhance security within the Bokrum enclave? He's asking if you have any plan to dealing with issues to do with security in that area.
Of course. I mean, as my background as a former soldier, I mean, you should know security should be paramount to, people can't be living in fears. People can live in areas where they are being attacked. And that's one thing, major thing that is going to be tackled. I mean, they have volunteer groups who have volunteered to, doing these things. I think we need to enhance them. We need to help them and equip them to do their jobs well. With the trainings that I need to provide them, I'm going to personally take it up, train them as to how to properly handle people and how, we just need to equip them and encourage them to do the things they are doing.
Your last message to delegates, they are listening, I'm sure with rapt attention. What would you tell them?
They are the kingmakers. They are on seat and they make and unmake parliamentarians. Or, they know their mandate. I am pleading with them. Manhyia North, is about time that we come together as one people to champion the cause of Manhyia North. I can't do it alone. I would need them to help me come 27th, which is next week Saturday, to come and vote for unity. They are tired of being oppressed by certain elements within the constituency. They are tired of people telling them what to do as grown-ups, as family people who are in charge of their own affairs. People telling them just because of some 4-year election that someone would eventually want something for themselves. They are imposing on them as to the things that they rightly don't want. I'm pleading with them that if they want to be liberated from this mental slavery, I think they should vote for someone who is going to bring peace, who is going to bring unity, and who is going to bring development in the constituency. I stand as that person, Nana Osei Bamfo, number 3 on the ballot box. And I know, by God's grace, what they are looking for is going to happen, which is to bring me to unify the whole constituency, to unite, and then to give people the chance to speak to talk to people, to go and visit like we used to. But now you don't see it within Manhyia North. You can't stand and talk to your own brother, your own sister, simply because you'll be taken out of the album. And I'm assuring them that no one is going to be taken out of the album. If anyone tries anything, the general secretary, the chairman, they are free. They are fair, and they are firm. They will ensure that the right thing is done, and we will make sure the right thing is done. And so I'm pleading with them to vote for me on the 27th, and I know by God's grace, everything we've said here is going to be done and more. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming, and that will be all for the show today. Our guest was Nana Osei Bamfo, who is seeking to represent the MPP as their parliamentary candidate in the Manhyia North Constituency. We're going to be taking some messages. Not taking some messages. In fact, the show, we've come to the end of the show. The show was produced by David Boachi Ifrifa. Earlier you heard from Abna and Rahim. My name has been Alpha Ali. For now, that's our show. Thank you very much for the privilege of your company. You want to have a very good morning.